Alright, hello, I am Nerd Squared, and I will be submitting for AGDQ 2026 with Secret Agent Wizard Boy and the International Crime Syndicate. A bit of a mouthful of a title, so we'll just call it Secret Agent Wizard Boy for short. This is kind of a sandbox stealth game, similar to stuff like Hitman, but with a fancy twist to it. As you can kind of see by the title screen, there's some spells we'll be using throughout the game for various different things. And I submitted this a few months back for the last GDQ event, SGDQ 25, back when this game was brand spanking new. But a lot of things have changed since that submission, because when I submitted that run, at the time it was at beta 1.0.2, I believe. But the game got an update to beta 1.1.3 because, you know, it's an early access game at the moment. It's being updated pretty regularly. And beta 1.1.3 changed a lot of things, as I'll touch on at the beginning. And this is going to be what's called all collectibles. This is essentially this game's equivalent of 100%. Before, with the previous versions, it would just involve grabbing a couple of pieces of armor and stuff like that throughout the game, basically like health and defensive upgrades. I'll be going to the game here to show you exactly what's changed, because in addition to having to grab all of those armor pickups and all the spells, there's also these missions that we have to complete. There's 28 of them that we'll have to complete throughout the run. Some of them we just get naturally by progressing through the game. Some other ones we'll have to go out of our way to do, like Biscuit Connoisseur, for example. And on top of that, I will have to grab some other emblems that are scattered throughout the environment just by exploring the castle. And I'm going ahead and explaining it now just because when we get into the actual run, it's going to be very chaotic and a little hard to keep up with if I'm trying to explain it on the fly. So I'm just going ahead and noting that straight away. So yeah, that's what all collectibles is for this version. You have to grab all 7 of these spells that you can see in the menu. Grab all 59 emblems, which includes completing all 28 of these missions right here. So that's basically the category that I'll be submitting here. It's all collectibles 1.1.3. In some other circles, we call this category all emblems. For the purposes of my submission here, I'll be calling it all collectibles on 1.1.3. So I'm going to actually go ahead and quit out of the game here, because right now I just went to the game files and I deleted all of my save data. All the different things you do throughout the game, like collecting the emblems, missions you completed, things like that. Those do not refresh when you just start a fresh single-player game. So whenever we reset runs in this game, we actually have to go into game files and delete the save data just to start completely fresh. So with all of that ready, I think we are good to go to start the run. My suggested estimate for this is around 25 minutes, which is a little high, admittedly, given that my PB is 15 minutes. And most of my runs typically hover around that time range, 15 to 16 minutes. But I'm submitting with a 25-minute estimate just to give myself a bit of buffer because, you know, like I said, it's a sandbox stealth game. Lots of things can go wrong in terms of, like, the physics deciding to be a troll or an NPC spotting me when I don't expect them to. So just giving myself a bit of buffer there just in case things go a little awry. And normally there's a cutscene that we skip right here at the start, but I'm going to go ahead and let it play out, just so you get a feel for the world we're about to enter into here. And time for the run starts when that cutscene finishes, and the game fades from black and we gain control.
Wizard Boy was a normal boy wizard, about to start his first year at wizard school.
Exciting.
He received a letter from MI6, the National Intelligence Agency. Wizard Boy, said the letter, dark things are afoot at wizard school. We've received intelligence that Professor Grumblemort is the leader of Spider, the infamous international crime syndicate, and we need you to investigate. And so Wizard Boy arrived at wizard school, ready to unearth the criminal secrets hiding within its walls.
Alright, so time starts when we gain control here. Right there. So right away we get our first emblem just hiding there in that bathroom stall. We start here in our headquarters. We'll be going there a few times throughout the run. Grab our first spell. Like I said, there's 7 spells you have to grab throughout the run. The one we just grabbed there is Prodify. That's kind of our basic attacking spell. We'll be using that a lot later on. And I went ahead and grabbed this placard because our friend here, Angela, is doing okay, but she looks a little tired, so we're going to help her take a nap. The reason we actually knocked out Angela there is because she's holding the shape, and we need to take it from her. The end goal of this game, speaking overall, is you have to go to this set of double doors in the basement to enter a dungeon type area. And that is locked behind grabbing 6 shapes, which are all hidden throughout the school, and the first one is on Angela right there. I'm gonna go ahead and make a few speed potions right here. There's a lot of potions we'll be making throughout the run. And what the speed potion does is it essentially gives me 4 times movement speed, roughly. So that'll last me very quickly throughout the run. And that's a kind of unfortunate thing. Like I was saying, this game is a little random with the like sandbox physics nature of it. I was trying to take a secret path there to skip a bit forward into later parts of the school. Just take a little shortcut there. But when I was trying to get those chalices off that shelf, one of them rocketed off into the stratosphere and smacked me in the face. So that's why I made those backup speed potions a bit ago, because it's actually pretty common for that to happen if you're not careful enough. So luckily the chalice that hit me is already out of the way, so I can just smack those out of the way so we can actually get into the goblet lounge here. Gonna open that passageway up for later by placing that torch. Grabbed our second spell right there, Perambulate. That's our telekinesis spell. Use that a few times throughout the run to move objects that are in the way. Go into this definitely not dangerous laser room, because there's an armor piece we'll need to grab there, and then another emblem right here. So this first part of the run, it's a little chaotic, obviously. But in terms of routing, it's like relatively simple compared to some other things that we do later in the run. It's just going around grabbing those shapes like I mentioned, and also grabbing all these early emblems. This is more or less what the all collectibles run would look like in some of the older versions of the run. If you're familiar with them. So we got that mysterious shape right there. A little spear looking shape. And then I opened up that secret passageway to get an emblem. There's lots of little secrets hidden throughout the game, like that hidden alcove that I just opened. Some of which I plan to show off in a separate submission for like a showcase of some secret Easter eggs and glitches that you can encounter in this game. For now though, we'll grab this secret shape, which looks like a donut, weirdly enough. And you may have heard some missiles shooting at me in the background. Don't worry about that too much. Because we move so fast, you can avoid those missiles pretty easily. There's like one room in a quick second here where it can be an issue, but like I said, we're so fast with the speed potion that typically don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to place that trampoline there for later. We got some armor over here. Speaking of secrets, there's a emblem hidden behind that painting. You can use Prodify or Perambulate to get rid of it. I prefer to use Perambulate, which just makes it a bit easier for me. Now I'll place these shapes on top of this hatch. I'm gonna get back to that hatch in a little bit so I can go to the basement later on. Now though, I'm gonna get some armor and a couple of emblems in this classroom over here. Gonna prep Prodify because I want to shoot this button up on the wall. That'll open a secret room that I'll access in a second. We're gonna get Bigify and Minify in this classroom. You know, pretty straightforward with those two. It'll let us make things big and small, which we will use for a strat in a room in a few seconds here. I'm gonna use a jump potion for the first time. You know, pretty straightforward what that does. When you throw the potion bottle, it'll make you rocket up in the sky. We use that for a little shortcut there to get to minify, and we'll be using it pretty heavily in one post-game sort of section in the latter half of the run. Do a couple of jumps in that trampoline to get an emblem in that vent. I'm gonna hit a secret button right here. I'll open up a extra room where I'm gonna grab an emblem. And I also got a propeller hat when I made a return trip to the laser room earlier. It makes my jumps a lot floatier, as you probably have seen a couple times. It just makes some jumps a little easier to do. It also makes your fall to the ground a bit slower, which can be annoying, but it's just something you have to manage. Anyways, we've gotten everything we need on that floor, so we'll drop down that hatch and go to the basement. You can see those set of double doors. That's what we need the shapes to open. And we've already gotten 3, pretty much right off the bat, and there's a few quick rapid fire ones we'll get in the basements as well. Some of these spells, by the way, get just increasingly cursed. It's relatively tame so far, but once we get past the first part of the run here, things are going to get really weird, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. Let's grab another emblem right here. And we'll grab that key, because we need it to access a hidden room in the Green Hat Lounge coming up. We normally need, again, a green hat serving as a disguise to get in here, but we move so fast that the security measures at the front entrance of the dorm do not matter, so we can just walk right in. So there's some armor right there, and then emblem that I'll be grabbing. And there's also a shape right here that I need to take with me. Before I actually leave the Hat Lounge, though, there's one more set of emblems right here in this room.
I wish I had a TV so I could watch Wizard Polo.
And like I said, there's like multiple different missions you get throughout the game just by progressing through it normally. Like Castle Expert I just got right there, you get for exploring a certain amount of the hidden areas throughout the castle. But of course, I've already hit quite a lot of those by going out of my way to get the emblems. Grab the slash shape. I'm gonna try to bait that knight's armor into throwing that shape at me, which he did. So I'll put these last few shapes in to get through this door. And there we go. We get dungeon investigation there for beating the game, technically. I'll grab this duck for good luck, and that's the end of the game, technically. Although, it's not the end of the run. We're only like roughly halfway through. A little less, because there's still quite a few missions you have to grab. And we'll get access to the shop for the first time. You can use this to upgrade different aspects of Wizard Boy. Add some inventory slots there just for convenience. And also, I equipped this power-up called the Pancake-nator, which, that's what it does. We also got a mission for doing that, weirdly enough. That just lets us go literally as flat as a pancake when we press crouch, which we need to do there for a mission, as you saw. I also equipped a couple of fall damage upgrades, just to make Wizard Boy take less damage when he falls. Because we're going to be falling quite a lot in this next portion. The run I like to divide into 3 sections. The first portion you saw there, we grabbed a bunch of emblems and got all the spells in quick succession. And then this next section, I kind of alluded to it earlier, we'll be grabbing a bunch of jump potions. Because there's quite a few emblems as well as an armor upgrade that we'll need to grab throughout the castle in the next couple of minutes. They're really high in the sky, so we're going to be using some jump potions to get to those. I'm going to use Doppelo, which is the spell I grabbed in the Green Hat Lounge. To duplicate those orbs, because I'll be making quite a few potions here. And you saw a bunch of jump potions as you're seeing here. Spill out that cauldron. One of the ingredients, because you have to like chop and match different ingredients to make all these potions. One of the ingredients I used to make the jump potion were these super grumble roots, the invisible sticks I added earlier. And when you put those into a potion, as one of the ingredients, it makes a bunch of copies of that potion. So we'll have a bunch of jump potions just in case we like make a mistake and don't quite get to where we want to go. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch of biscuits here, which are kind of the currency of this game. Yes, it's these cookies you see littering the environment. And that's not just for random reasons. There's an achievement I'll be grabbing right here by grabbing all these biscuits here. And some of the spells we use throughout the run use biscuits when you cast them, so we just want to have a bunch in stock. It's a biscuit connoisseur there by grabbing over 2,000 biscuits. In fact, just to verify, yeah, we have 2,400 biscuits there. I mentioned those emblems that are way high in the sky in the courtyard here. We're grabbing all those real quick. We are going to die right there, but that's fine, because if you're near a fountain, you can revive yourself by spending 30 biscuits, which is pretty nice. Got that biscuit there, or that emblem there in the ceiling. I'll teleport back out through here to get to the courtyard. And I'm going to combine missions here, because there's a mission I'll be going for here called Overhead Investigation. It should pop in a second. Right there. You get that by being able to see the whole map at once. And then on the way down, I'm going to grab this emblem. I didn't quite get the armor, but the intent is to grab that emblem and armor in quick succession right after grabbing Overhead Investigation. That way you spend less time having to grab all of the collectibles in the courtyard. So got all the stuff we need in the courtyard there. There's a few more emblems we'll be grabbing in this clock tower here. Right up here. Drop down. We are going to die, but it's fine. Because like I said, we can revive at a fountain for 30 biscuits. I'll get rid of these extra potion bottles just so they don't clog up my inventory. And there's one more emblem in the courtyard right here. If I can grab it. Hello. There we go. So we equip Pancakeinator, but this time around we'll equip Metal Jaws. That power-up lets you eat literally anything. And by anything, I mean anything. And we're going to do a couple of missions in a quick second here that involve us eating some really peculiar items that you wouldn't think are edible. First, we have to use some defense potions there for another mission. So you would think, you know, it's not safe to eat rocks, is it? Well, that's exactly what this next mission is. Because the mission we're going for here is Stone Stomach. You get that by eating 10 rocks. And the reason why I made that defense potion is because when you eat those rocks, it actually does damage to you. But it turns out if you just like pour some random liquid on yourself, you're just fine. Grab this missile right here in the headquarters, because there's a couple of missions we'll be going for in a quick second here once I bigify this missile, where we basically want to create a really big explosion. And there's a funny Easter egg with this missile. You can see it says PM NPC Tracker 007. That's a fun little James Bond reference. And like I said, we just want to make this missile really big to create a really big explosion, as I alluded to. And what do you think it's going to look like when we throw this missile? How much do you think the game's going to slow down? That much, as it turns out. Also, fair warning, this missile is really loud when it explodes, but that's really the only content warning you have to worry about for the run. Also, that's really nice. I just got external investigation. Okay, that bears a bit of explaining. So, as you can see right here, the game has a hard time dealing with me throwing a missile that big. So the game's trying to reconcile with the amount of damage I just did. Eventually, the game's going to catch up and get to a relatively stable frame rate of like 15 to 20. But yeah, the explosion is so big, it literally caught everything in the school in the crossfire. So as you can see, everything is just in complete disarray. And one of the missions I ended up getting while the missile was exploding and the world was trying to reconcile with what the heck is going on was external investigation. You get that by falling out of bounds in a very particular spot in the school, I believe. And I think you can also just fall out of bounds in general to get it. And if you're lucky, when the game is trying to process the explosion, you can just get external investigation. in the process. I also got bargain bin slow-mo, which the condition for that is getting the game to run at below 10 FPS. So yes, it was quite literally a developer intended strat to destroy the frames. What more could you want out of a game? And then large explosion for just creating large explosion. In order to actually continue with the run though, I do a quick reset, just so we can get rid of all that clutter and start fresh. And this next one is pretty quick, because we had one of the spells we got when we finished the all spells portion of the run, or this portion where we grabbed all the spells, is this one that I have equipped, Personam Assumum. It's quite literally a disguise spell. As you can see right there. You get a mission for using it, so we went ahead and did that. And also No Time to Perish, which is basically like you being able to continue the run despite dying. That's what the condition for that is, essentially. So we're going to do some more spell crafting. This time it's just a speed potion like I did before, but also a power potion, or spell power potion, I believe is what it's called. And what the spell power potion does is it, exactly what it says on the tin. It makes your spells more powerful. Also, I did not mean to use that. That's probably still fine. But yeah, what the spell power potions do is add some like extra power to your spells, which basically make them more effective. And you'll see what that does for Prodify in particular in a second. But first we're going to do some more biscuit farming. This isn't strictly necessary, it's just convenient, because we'll be reviving our spells a lot at the fountain like I did earlier in a little bit. And I just want to have enough biscuits at hand in order to be able to revive myself and also use spells like Consume Biscuits when I need to. So I'll do biscuits until around right there is good actually, 1,500. And like I said earlier, each spell gets an extra power when you use the spell power potion. So what does that do for Prodify? Yep, it makes things explode. So why am I going around killing all these NPCs? It's not just for fun, it's actually for a good reason. Because there's a couple of missions in this game that revolve around the amount of NPCs you've killed. And for one of them, Pugilist, you have to get, I believe it's 100 NPCs killed. And, the explosive Prodify is the best way to do that. Probably the goofiest part of the run, besides the jump potion portion, because you can kind of see in action here just how ridiculous some of the physics are. I'll grab this bat right here. Very great name for it, by the way, Batterton Smackerton. We have to grab him for another mission. So I'll be going around killing NPCs until we get to the kill amount for Pugilist. I usually get it in the next hallway over, roughly. If I'm unlucky, there are some extra rooms I can go to meet the kill quota. Okay, there we go, we got Pugilist. So now I'll be heading back downstairs, because we'll be killing ourselves, or offing ourselves, I guess. Just exploding ourselves, basically, is what I meant to say. Just like that, over and over in this fountain. Because there's a few missions in this game that revolve around dying a certain amount of times, and also in certain ways. I got Swab right there, which I believe is for dying 10 times total. And I also got a Consistent Failure, which you get for dying 2 times in quick succession. But the really big one, which is admittedly a little time consuming, is called Super Swab. We get that by dying 50 times total. And exploding ourselves and then immediately reviving ourselves in the fountain, as you're seeing right here, is the most efficient way to do that. Pretty funny way to end the run, not gonna lie. And time is when we reach the 50 death quota, and Super Swab pops in the top left. Technically, I could end this run on any achievement, but it's just most efficient to end it right there on Super Suave. So yeah, 19 minutes. Obviously, it took some time to show stuff off, which is part of why I have the 25-minute estimate. But besides slowing down to show some stuff off. It was honestly pretty solid. But yeah. Also, since this isn't all collectibles type run, completionist category, we're going to verify real quick that we actually got all of the emblems. We have two ways to be able to tell. First, if we go into our mission list over here, there we go, 20 out, 28 completed. So we got all the missions, and the way we can verify is to go back into the upgrade station as well. And when we refund all of our upgrades that I equipped earlier, if we got all of them, we should be at 59 total emblems right here. And there we go. So yeah, honestly went pretty well. Like I said, it can be a little random with some of the physics, as you can see, but you know, regardless, it's still like a really fun game to showcase and just an absolute joy to play, speedrun or otherwise. Regardless of its proximity to the bad Wizard Boy, I think it will be a really good showcase at AGDQ. And it's also made by John Szymanski, by the way, the Szymanski twins, who have made such really good games as, like, you know, My Friendly Neighborhood and stuff like that. So it'll be a really fun game to showcase for that reason as well. And also, while we're here, I just want to shout out a few people. First of all, I've already mentioned the Szymanski twins, or Szymanski brothers, I mean, for making this game, especially John Szymanski or Ducky Dev. Hockey Babbler, who has actually ran this game a couple of times for GDQ in the past, once for a hotfix show, and then once again more recently for the most recent Flame Fatales. She's basically been my partner in crime with routing this game, you know, spitting ideas back and forth and trading old records. And also, if I have this game get into GDQ, most likely I'm gonna have her on couch. Just saying. So thank you, Babs, and the Szymanski brothers, and also thank you GDQ staff for watching the submission and considering my run, even if it doesn't get in for whatever reason. Thank you for watching this and considering my run. You can see this on the big stage.